Hey everybody, it's your friendly hospitality Glenn here, live from AAHOA 2024 in incredible Orlando. I found Chris Guimbellot of HI Hotels for our annual catch-up over here. Chris, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I guess a year ago.
A little bit less than a year, because I think this event was a week later.
Oh, okay.
in the calendar. So only 51 weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
Getting it in right under that 1 year.
Way too long. Way too long.
Yeah. So before we get started, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the brands that are in your company so we could get the footing for this conversation.
Sure. So High Hotels is the franchisor of Scottish Inns, Red Carpet Inn, Master Host Inns, Downtown Inn, and Passport Inn. We got about 225 hotels around the U.S.
Ooh, it's that many now.
It's that many now. So we've had explosive growth in Texas. And ironically, while I was out of town on vacation last week, 3 new contracts came across my desk.
Wonderful. You should vacation more often.
I think I will. I think I want to vacation all the time.
So one of the things that I really like about your company is, you're staying away from the fray of all the massive companies out there, and you're getting a little bit more personal with people. And I think, and I'll say this to all of you out there, it is so important to create great communication with all stakeholders, from members on your executive team to the property owners, to the people on the property, and get everybody on the same page, right? And I know that this is something that you're really passionate about. So how does that play out at HI Hotels?
Sure. Ever since I came on the scene and took over,
And was that 6 years?
that was actually in 2020, right at the height of COVID.
Was it?
And it was October of 2020.
So, all right, the last 4 years feels like 6 years.
I was around beforehand, but I wasn't sitting in the current desk. But basically, when we started looking around, what we realized is that a couple of things. Number one, a lot of the big guys simply weren't communicating well with their franchisees. The other thing we realized is a lot of them weren't listening to their franchisees.
Right.
And finally, there was a lot of scope creep and a lot of amenity creep, and it was really upsetting and putting out some of the franchisees. So
Right.
what we did is we spent a lot of time over the last 4 years implementing solutions for each of those problems.
So what are your owners really looking for?
What the owners are really looking for in our brand is to provide quality lodging to their guests without onerous restrictions that don't net them any higher revenue. So for instance, there was a franchise, I was talking to a franchisee of another company the other day, and one day 2 tractor trailers showed up in their parking lot, and when they inquired as to what it was for, it was new lobby furniture imposed by the brands that they were not told about and charged to their bill.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we don't do anything like that. I mean, our goal is to be able to make sure that, the franchisee provides comfortable lodging to their guests, takes care of their guests, while at the same time maintaining their own independence and identity.
So how do you make sure that there's clear communication between the brand level and the property level?
So that's a really good question. So first thing, a lot of the brands are very top-down communicators,
Right.
in a sense that they simply send communications down from corporate to the franchisees. With us, it's different. So in addition to the normal standard communication practices, they hear from me every month via an email that comes from me. They can respond to me, tell them a little bit about what's going on with the company, and gives them the opportunity to speak with me directly. Also, every property that enters and exits our system, I call them personally, both to welcome them, ask them what we can do for them, as well as when they exit, to ask them what we could have done better to try to learn a little bit more. From the communication from the franchisees, we found that a lot of the franchise companies simply were not listening to their franchisees. So the biggest thing that we did is we founded an advisory council. So it consists of 7 members, 1 from our corporation, which is me, 5 of our top franchisees, and a vendor partner. We meet once a quarter and we discuss issues. And what we do is we go to them,
Right.
and ask them questions about how we can grow, what we can do to the franchisees, what's palatable, what standards are good, what standards are bad, and get their feedback. And they provide us tremendous feedback. In fact, one of the things that they approved on our call 2 weeks ago is something that we're going to call the Best of the Best program, whereby we are actually going to, instead of taking a stick approach to prevent standard creep, what we're going to do is reward properties that have higher caliber standards without punishing those that don't.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that idea. So why have a vendor in the organization as well?
Because a vendor, sometimes you get a little bit of the inability to see outside of your own little world. The vendor provides an exterior sort of viewpoint that the franchisees sometimes miss, and quite honestly, sometimes that we miss as well.
Totally. I love that approach. In fact, I've been joining a lot more advisory boards and regular boards and stuff because people like the fact that I can see things from all the different point of views, and it kind of fills in a knowledge gap for them. So how do you create good, honest communication that yields real results instead of it turning into just a lot of platitudes?
That's a really good question. So essentially, I think the fact that we're open and available to our franchisees, right? Every franchisee that I've ever spoken with has my personal cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
They can call me anytime, and I tell them, please save my phone number. You can call me anytime. Every person on our staff is available. Communications don't come from constant contact. They come from us personally. People can respond. So what we like to say is that we're small enough to listen, but large enough to produce.
I like it. So what are your goals for this upcoming year?
So
we got to get them all the way out because I may not speak to you again for another year.
Exactly.
Not that we don't want to. It's just that, legal sanctions and all.
I do have to say that this is one of the highlights of my AAHOA con is talking with you. So
that's really nice, but I also feel terrible for you. That's a highlight.
Well, there's some other good things too. But one of the goals, so Advisory Council just turned 1 year old.
Yep.
So we're going to continue with that. But they just
did you give it its first chocolate cupcake?
No, but what we did is actually I can announce this on your show. We're going to send each of them plaques for their service on the Advisory Council, and also they have shirts.
Yeah.
But we're going to get together with a lot of them here, which is great. But they've approved this best of the best program, so now we're going to work on that. We've actually put into place so many programs in the last couple of years. What we decided to do is take a step back, and instead of continue to launch,
right,
to better communicate the programs that we already have, to stick with this communication and getting feedback.
That's really important, because one of the problems that I see with every hotel company out there is there's so many resources that are provided, but either the owners are overwhelmed or can't figure out how to tap into those resources, right? My philosophy in life is add one thing, figure it out, make it part of your routine, and then add another thing. So I like that you're focusing on what you already have in that spirit of getting people to really absorb that.
I think you're absolutely right. In fact, in December, and I kind of mentioned it to you last year, is that we were going to launch an online educational portal for our franchisees. And we did that. And the initial uptake was slow. But now we're focused on getting more franchisees registered, because once they do, they see the value of it, right? And it also kind of cuts down on support issues as well.
Right.
But it allows us to continue working with them on a personal level, but work on more advanced things, because they can handle some of the simpler things by learning in the portal. So that's helped out a lot.
I really love that. So anything else that you want to add?
The only thing I'll say is that we're really looking forward to this AAHOA Con. We've had an excellent, like I mentioned, 3 properties cross my desk. We're coming in with really good momentum. We've closed 7 new deals in the past quarter, and we're really proud of that. So.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much. Congratulations on all the good stuff. And thanks for you. We're going to have a lot of great coverage over here during AAHOA Con 2024 in Orlando at the Orange County Convention Center. See you guys next time.